high 84. For Redlands this morning, a clear sky, sunny today, high 86. The desert cities will have sunny skies this morning and through the day with a high of 102. I'm meteorologist Jim Rinaldi for Smart Talk 1490 KMET.
That's right. It's the morning show here on ABC News Radio, KMET 1490 AM. I'm Aaron Michael Sanchez. Good to have you with us. It is a fun week to be alive. Good day for everyone out there. We appreciate you. Thank you for the hearts and the likes on social media. Also, I want to say a big shout out to those in Arizona. Got to meet a few and super excited about that. I'm actually excited. I got to say this really quick. And I've been telling people kind of what I've been working on and kind of sharing on social media. Some of you have given me your comments, and some of you actually want us to come down to your area. I know we've had a couple, hey, come on our location and we'll help you out. And I said, yay, awesome, because the book is finally coming out to bookstores at Barnes & Noble, and it'll be available for purchase this Thursday. So I'm excited about this. This is the first copy. It just came, and I'm excited about it. It's called A Butterfly's Story, and you can actually get it soon. That's the back cover of it. So it's a first. It's I've been telling people that I've been kind of working on several scripts as well as books. And well, you know what? Let's bring on Jesse Sanchez, who also has a book in him. I know we've talked about it for a few. Let's see, since 2020. Jesse, what's going on over there?
Oh, I am having a great day today. Just enjoying living life. And I found this news article. It would make you think twice about getting married.
Okay, all right. Okay, before we get to that, let me get to Jesse. Jesse's not going to give out his story because we don't want to take it, because you never know who's going to take it and run with it. But Jesse's had a story before, I believe, 2020, but we talked about it. And we did before we went live on the air. And I always say to Jesse, whenever we have authors here on the show, we've had quite a few, I say, hey, in my head, I go, secretly take a note of this author, because we need you. Because Jesse's one of those that has good ideas on every film that's made. By the way, I saw Doctor Strange, and I will say, if you haven't seen it, go see it. It's a winner. Have you seen it, Jesse?
Oh, yes, I've seen it. I loved it. A lot of people don't realize that, it has horror elements in it. Quite a bit of them.
Yeah, I saw that. I was like, Jesse's going to like this. I saw it twice, by the way, on the same day. I haven't done that in a while. And I got a lot on the second one. And I know we talked a little about it last Monday, but it's still with me. And back to some stuff. Jesse brought up some information about wouldn't it be I can't give it because it's a spoiler. Never mind. My point is this: Jesse's got good ideas on films that are out there, and sometimes we don't talk about it on the air. But I'm like, you know what? That would have been a good way to do it, right? So sometimes there's a perfect example: Ghostbusters. If you haven't seen Ghostbusters, go see it, right, Jesse? They did it right.
Yes, they did do it right. It was just the perfect amount of comedy, drama. Got the horror elements in there. It was just a perfect balance. And also even saying a little goodbye to Egon himself. But it was a good movie compared to the one we're not supposed to talk about.
I know what you're talking about. For the ladies, as they say.
Yes, I love the ladies. I wish they could have been less slapstick, but that's the script that they had and they had to work with, which I don't know. I wish they would hire people like diehard fans. In this way, you can go to the writer and be like, "Is this what you wrote?" and then slap. The vast majority of the time, these studio executives don't know anything about their products or that the movies that they're trying to pitch off.
Well, and I say this, and I think we said this on the show a while back when it came out. Whenever you have, there's such a thing as a reboot, and then there's a spin-off, right? A spin-off is better than a reboot because you give attention to the people that came before. Like when I saw in that movie, and a lot of people probably have seen it by now, when you give Bill Murray a cameo, but he doesn't play himself, that's odd, right? Because everybody knows, like, you're not going to go see Ghostbusters and not know who Bill Murray is. That's why I liked the latest one. If you haven't seen it, go check it out, because it gives a nod to the original cast. When movies are done that way, perfect example is this, Jurassic Park, right? Or Jurassic World. They merged, and everybody's seeing the trailers, they've merged both casts. They've merged the original one that came out for the very first. That's when you see it go, and then they merged the one that's most recent. So it's not like a reboot at all. It was kind of like a merging of both stories. Does that make sense?
Oh yeah, it does. If you can have a good story to bring back the original cast,
Yeah.
even just a small way to bring them in, like that makes sense, instead of just for just for the heck of it.
Yeah.
I'd go for it.
Yeah, exactly.
I actually saw the trailer and I was like, I love it. I want to see it. Can't wait.
Yeah, me neither. I'm glad they brought back the original cast. I love the original cast. Okay, so back to the book. Okay, so it's going to be available for you guys to purchase. I know I've already gotten a couple people actually talking about it, and so it's available. It's a good read. My mom read it yesterday again because I added some stuff before I got it, kind of made. And she shed a tear, and I'm like, yes, that's what I was going for. Okay, so it's a very good book, makes you think a little, and gets you going. But my point is this: Jesse has stories in him. I know he does. So we're going to work together on getting him at least one of these out there, because I think he wrote basically what you would call a synopsis. And we're going to get that book out there because, as somebody said on social media, 2 budding authors on our show today. Exactly, it's Jesse and I. But I say this to everyone: everyone has a story in them. Okay, I think I've had a few people, adults, read this story when it was just kind of like on paper, right? It was like really a first draft. This is still, I call it a first draft of a book, because I see it evolving into other stories. I've had like 3 come out of it, and it's good for kids, usually between the ages of, depending on the story, this is more for like 8 and above, probably like, but there are other stories that'll kind of be kind of like, interesting. So I've got 2 more coming out. One I've already promoted last week. But yes, for those of you tuning in, I was in Arizona. I was actually going and kind of securing some meet and greets. So we'll probably be working on that here in LA as well. But I went and I got some down. Well, if you live in the Phoenix area, you could probably see me later in June. And then I might be there again in July. So it'll be interesting. But again, whenever you kind of meet people and you kind of like, give away copies, when they purchase them at Barnes & Noble, which will be one of the first places. I know everybody goes to Amazon, which will be on Amazon as well. But we'll probably release it on Barnes & Noble for everyone this Thursday. So that's the good news. And then I'm sure we'll probably do some signed copies along the way as well. But back to what I'm saying, I think anyone could do it. Just download the app. It's voice recorder. It's on your phone. I already had like a few people send me like recordings from it. And just, while you're driving, just, don't put on the radio, or if you put on the radio, put on like some background music. Like I like cinematic music, right? And then you kind of play that and you get in the mode, and then you kind of, you say your story rather than like, type it out. Some people have that ability. I don't have that, right? And even if you're like, oh, I'm not very descriptive. If you guys saw the movie, I saw this movie with my mom, and I saw it actually originally with a friend. It was Lost City, right? With Sandra Bullock. And in that, she's a writer. Okay, I'm not giving anything away, but she's a writer. And you haven't seen it yet, huh, Jesse?
No, I actually did see it. There's a cameo in there. His role was the best. That's all I got to say.
Okay, Tatum's role was awesome, by the way. I thought he did a great job. I was excited for the way he went about it. And if you're talking about the cameo that I think you're doing, like, he was all like, dude, I'm your biggest fan, right? Like, right? Wasn't it good? My mom loved it. I recommend people go see it. It is still playing in some theaters, but it's also on demand, which is the way we saw it. So we're keeping my mom safe. But my point is, in that, she's a writer, but she kind of like, writes a bunch of books. And then I'm not going to give you the rest. You'll be able to figure out the rest when you see it. But my point is this. We all have a book in us, right? And I know Jesse has like at least 3, probably 8. And then once he gets started. Oh, and by the way, I finally, and for those out there, there's a way to go ahead and register your script and or story and or like live action feature or video game idea or any synopsis or other things for less than it is to do it the way I saw it recently on copyright. And it's through the Writers Guild of America, which I know people in the Writers Guild of America. You just go to Writers Guild of America, you register it there, you upload it to them. For $20, you get it registered. It's good for 5 years, so nobody can rip it off, Jesse. So when we get your idea done like that, we'll get it done. I already have my first script there, so I'm like, in case somebody comes up with something similar, or if they come across mine and they get it made, I have proof that, hey, I wrote it first, right? That I didn't rip it off anybody, right? So, and that title's still kind of evolving, but we'll see. But I guess my point is this: I'm kind of been in a writing thing, and I'm like, okay, so this book is one of like several that are going to come out, especially for kids. Again, a butterfly's story. And again, I'm not used to promoting my own thing, but it'll be available this Thursday. So I'm going to be promoting left, right, and center. You're probably going to be like, all right, we get it. But again, it's one of many coming out. And that's why I say, for people that have kind of, I'm going to say this right now. I never thought I'd be a writer, Jesse. We've interviewed writers. We asked them what do they do to get in that, mode, or how do they keep going? How do they write book after book after book after book? And I think whatever works for you, why not? Just try that. I know somebody said recently they kind of wanted to do a biography, right, about their life or growing up as a child. That was my mom. Not gonna lie, may help her do that. But get your story out there, because when you leave this earth, and one day you may, you have something to leave, like with your name on it, and I think that's kind of cool. That's why Jesse, I'm like, come on, Jesse, we gotta get your story out there. Don't worry about like the descriptive words. Like in that movie with Sandra Bullock, she's very descriptive and she's very like, she uses just the right language to get you like, whoa, But you can always get a second writer once you have the first draft done, and then the second writer adds the like flower to the words. You know what I mean? That accentuates like. I'll give you a perfect example. My script is good dialogue, but it needs better dialogue, right? It's got good descriptive, but it needs better descriptive, right? When it comes to like the scenes. I have it in my head, but I would need like a co-writer to do it. And I'm looking at one that's in Canada, because there's a thing that if you combine forces with another person in another area, it gives it a good tax incentive for the film when it's made. Anywhere from 20 to like sometimes as much as 38%. Canada's a little less in some areas. I know Kentucky, we interviewed somebody which recently picked up a little views on our YouTube channel and on Facebook. But in Kentucky, they actually, if you wrote like a story just for Kentucky like area, and you know where to shoot and you know what kind of crew to get, you can get up to 35%, 30 to 35% tax credit, meaning like, let's say you invest $100,000, Jesse. 30% of that, which would be about $30,000, kind of goes back to the person who invested it, right? So that basically covers your cost of, if it fails. But if you could sell it and then you get it like distribution, even like Netflix or, there's other people that just do it on YouTube, right? And then they ask for a donation. I've seen one about that on kind of like the Ministry of Christ or the Christ Life. And he just crowdfunded it through people that like kind of donated. But there's so many ways to distribute that you can make money on a little idea and then get together people that can take it next level, right? So I guess my point is, if you have it in your head, do it, right? I know I've done speaking stuff before. I'm teaming up soon, probably this week, with a friend you guys probably have come across, and if you haven't, we had a show that we used to promote, 2 Men in Your Business, with Jesse Torres, and Jesse Torres and I met a while back. Great guy. Was the president of a community bank, but he goes back to like the big dog days of banking, and he just knows everything there is about banking, but he also knows everything about like anything and everything, right? He's great at business. He's great at getting a business up and going. He promoted a company called Boldface Gear, which is like an interchangeable backpack gear. And then he did a lot of the marketing. People don't know this. He's very smart. So sometimes he and I meet and we kind of like go back and forth on things. But we've helped out businesses before that were struggling. We're like, okay, do this, do that, do this, do that, do this. And then if they apply it, they're able to go next level, right? So we're working on a book that we've talked about for a few years, but we never actually made together. So so there'll be a kind of like a business book on how to do things, especially in this economy, especially with the things coming out soon. And we've kind of been seeing just kind of the beginning of what I keep calling the financial nightmare of business, right? People are closing their doors. People are shuttering their doors. People are saying, oh no, what's next? We have news about the virus, and it's kind of like picked up just in the past, few days. The numbers are pretty high. And, so we have to kind of go, okay, what do we do next? And as a business, what is the right thing to do rather than just firing everybody and then closing the doors, right? There are ways to manage what you have. You just have to think bigger, and I would say in a way to where you're like, okay, we're not raising the prices on everything, but you're making more people want to come to you. I don't know if that makes sense. Does that make sense, Jesse?
No, it makes sense. Okay.
Sometimes people put top price things, but people can only, invest in that so long or spend so much money. Let's say, for example, I create a new, let's see, what do I have here? I don't know. Okay, a new tissue, right? And, this is a Kleenex box, right? Technically, there's a company that creates Kleenexes, right? And this one is Puffs plus lotion, right? So they branded this as Puffs. But if I was a branding, person, kind of like everybody thinks of, like, you'll think of Kardashian, okay? You may not like her. You may not like what she does. You may like, oh, what's going on with Kanye and her? Obviously, they broke up, blah, blah, blah. But at the end of the day, she brands makeup, right? And she's not the one that came up with the makeup. They just kind of package her name on it. But how do you market it? How do you get next level? Now, if I charge top dollar for this, when you could get it for like, well, I don't know. I feel like price is right now. How much can you get this box of, tissue paper, right? Kleenex, when people say, give me a Kleenex, that's a brand kind of in our head of Kleenex, but it's a brand. It's not what this is, right? Right? Makes sense? Kind of like Coca-Cola, right? Give me a Coke, but they're like, is Pepsi all right? You're like, oh, yeah, that's what I meant, So, but back to this, so you don't, but this is what's happening at the stores. They're charging like $8.99 for this when it should be just like, well, depending on how many you get and how absorbent it is and how you, do you want that? Is that the face you want for your kids? I don't know. But my point is this, if you charge top price, you're going to have a good amount of money, but you do that when people are able to spend that. In an economy like now, if you do like Depression era pricing, you got to price it so it's affordable so everybody flocks to it, right? So people are kind of saving money right now. They're looking for a deal. So you got to have deals ready to go. Does that make sense? It's kind of like my book. If I charge like $38 for a hardcover, you think people are going to buy it, Jesse?
$38. I highly doubt it.
Yeah. Me too. And I went to Barnes & Noble recently, and I looked at all the prices. I said, okay, that's affordable, that's affordable, that's affordable, that's affordable, that's affordable. Okay, got it. And then I see other people pricing their stuff. Some of them are giving it away. I say, don't give it away. Get something for it. Because some people don't even read. Do an audiobook. A lot of people are doing and turning to Audible because they just don't have the time to read a book, right? We put kind of a snippet together on YouTube for this book, kind of as a trailer, as a teaser, to say, hey, if you want to buy the book, but I don't have the link to buy the book, so I'm going to sell it as an ebook, and then there's other ways to do that. So, all right, let's do a quick shout-out before we go to break. We got Stephanie Reed tuning in. We got Mark Blevins. Thank you for tuning in. Mark Rosalie Huerta, thank you for tuning in. Let's see, Mark says, most movies today are written by committee and focus group. Actually, some do that. Yeah, it's true. I think there's a way to do it so you get a good percentage where they're actually very, critical, but then the more critical they are, the less it can be ripped apart when it gets made. You know what I mean? Because Jesse's like that. If Jesse were able to read all the scripts of Hollywood, he'd be like, yeah, but... And I've been in focus groups, 3 to be exact, and not gonna lie, I don't tell them what I do for a living because I don't, because they pay you for that. And when they do, they just get your opinion. And you see the pilot, and then either it does get made or it doesn't get made. The one did get made, and the other did not get made. But you just give your honest opinion. And I always can see the writer in the room because they're usually the highly critical one. So Jesse's a writer. I can tell you right now, he's critical for a reason. Rosalie says, I would buy it. Awesome. I'm going to hold you to that. I had $38. No, I'm kidding. I'm joking. No, I'm joking. You'll get the deal of the day. All right, people. We got to be right back. We got to pay the bills here at the station. We'll be right back with more right after these messages. Stay tuned.
Together We Are Strong is a product brand which stands for unity, equality, and protecting voting rights. Shop now at togetherwearestrong.com for t-shirts, hats, and coffee mugs. All voting rights profits are donated to Rock the Vote, an organization on a mission to empowering young voters. Become an activist without saying a word. Togetherwearestrong.com. Make a difference in America and the world. Shop online at togetherwearestrong.com. Give the gift that helps drive change. Go visit togetherwearestrong.com.
Hey, Mark's here. We want people should know about the new Italian radio show on KMET. Like my Uncle Vinny used to say, Gumbas non stunad.
SID, there is no such words in Italian.
Forget about it. Tell them about the show.
The Italian Radio Show, presented by West Coast Italian Radio.
Mondays at 4 p.m. on KMET 1490, or stream us live 24/7 from our website at WCIR.biz.
Make sure to tune in.
You don't want that we should have to tell you twice.
For all you truck and RV enthusiasts, TruckWorks right here in Banning is your one-stop shop for the best diesel performance and overall truck and RV needs. Whether you're towing, racing, off-road, or just cruising around town, TruckWorks specializes in truck and RV service, maintenance, repair, and performance upgrades for every light and medium-duty truck manufacturer. Bring it down to Terry and the guys at TruckWorks. Call 951-922-4776 or visit their website at mydieseldown.com today.
Are you paying rent because you think you cannot afford to live in your dream home? Are you renting because you don't believe that you have the down payment funds to purchase your own home? The Siegel Lending team at ronismylender.com has up to $25,000 to help qualified people purchase their own home at amazing interest rates. Contact the Siegel Lending team today at ronismylender.com. Again, ronismylender.com, license under NMLS 217037. ronismylender.com.
We're in the studio with Fred Penny, managing attorney with Penny & Associates Injury Lawyers. Fred, tell us what makes you the number one choice for handling personal injury cases.
Most of our firm is made up of former insurance company trial lawyers with extensive experience handling all types of personal injury matters. We believe that gives us a distinct advantage.
That's Penny & Associates Injury Lawyers with locations throughout California. For a free consultation, go to pennyandassociates.com or call 1-800-616-4-LAW. That's 1-800-616-4-LAW.
Hello, listeners. This is Christopher from The Christopher Show. Hey, if you missed one of our shows here at KMET, don't worry about it. You can go to our webpage, and that's KMET1490am.com. Go to the homepage, click on the SoundCloud tab, and hear any show anytime you want.
That's right. It's the morning show here on ABC News Radio, KMET 1490 AM. I appreciate each and every one of you. We share the latest, and Jesse's got the latest. What's going on over there, Jesse?
Yeah, so, my fiance sent me this article a few days ago. Okay. And I thought it was fake, but then I was like, no, this can't be real. But apparently it is. Yeah, so apparently an Indian couple is suing their son and wife for one reason. Can you think of what it would be?
Oh, God, I think I saw this one. I'm not going to lie. I thought it was weird, but go ahead. Oh, maybe it's a different one, but go ahead. I don't.
Yeah, no, they did grandchildren.
That is the one. Oh, my God.
I thought it was a joke, so... Yeah, I don't even know what to say. I'm just like, oh my God, I'm in fear now. But a retired Indian couple is suing their son and daughter-in-law, demanding that they produce a grandchild within a year or pay them 50 million rupees, which is equivalent to around 675 grand.
Maybe they're just needing money and they don't know how to go about it. Maybe they just think it's the way to be. I don't get it though, Jesse. It makes no sense.
I don't know. I don't know. Maybe it's the culture. They want grandchildren. I do not know. But Sanjeev Ranjan Prasad, a 61-year-old retired government officer, said it was an emotional and sensitive issue for him and his wife, Prasad, and they cannot wait any longer. His son, a pilot, was married 6 years ago. Ah, okay. So he's married 6 years, no kids, and the parents want kids. I got grandkids. I gotcha.
I don't get it. It makes no sense, Jesse.
I don't know. I'm just trying to be supportive of the parents.
They want basically $675,000. That's U.S. for the 50 million rupees. I say, is this about money? Because at the end of the day, I think this guy's got money and they don't. And they're like, dude, you have not given anything back to the family. I think it's about that. I don't understand this, Jesse. Like, let's say the kid, you know, how old is the son?
Honestly, it doesn't say in this article, but I'm assuming he's around 35.
Oh, here it is. He says, we want a grandson or a granddaughter within a year or compensation because I've spent my life's earnings on my son's education. Oh, that still doesn't make sense. Why would you want a grandkid out of that? Like, you know what I mean? In other words, he wants to get paid back. He's like, dude, I gave you so much money. What have you done with it other than have fun and get married? And I am unhappy in this photo. So there you go. I think that's what's happening, Jesse. What do you think?
Yeah, oh my God, I can make so many jokes right now. I'm trying not to. The look on her face is all like, I bet they'll get the grandson, and then boom. But yeah, I don't know. The guy does not look happy. Blink twice if you need help, man.
I think the lady needs help. Like, I can't believe I'm in this. Like, he said it was a good idea. It's just going bad. I can see it go bad. He's like, no, it's a good idea. Trust me, this is gonna work. It doesn't work. Okay, there's no way you're gonna get $675,000 worth or 50 million rupees for a grandchild just because you spent. Look, every parent out there is like, you know what? I have spent a lot on you kids. You give me something, right? But 6 or 7, like, that is like, I mean, I hate to say it, but it's almost blackmail. Like, give me a kid, man. Like, you're like, dude, you know they cost a lot of money. Like, is he wanting? Like, I think he just needs money. I think he just needs to say, son, I paid in your education. I have yet to have a call from you. I got nothing. This is the only way I can get your attention. Can you give me like a little bit of money? I'm hurting over here. I think that's all that they have to, you know. Some families don't talk, Jesse. This is one of them.
I guess. I mean, I had a friend back in the days. He was Indian and he lived with his family. Where did they live? They lived somewhere in Canada, okay?
Yeah.
And him and his sister were attending school in Orange County, and that's where I met him. And yeah, he would have, like, whenever his dad would call him, he would like the fear of God just knocked into him. He'd be like, yes, sir. Yes, sir. And the moment he would hang up, he would go back to normal. So I asked him, I was like, what did he's definitely afraid of their dad. So is the daughter too, or his sister. So I'm just like, I don't know how their culture is, but yeah, a lot of them are afraid of their parents.
Well, I get that. Sometimes it's like a healthy level of respect. And then some kind of have like your relationship where they're just like friends with their like their mom, right? And if you saw your dad, you'd probably be like me, you know. It's like, whatever, right? It's not a big deal, right?
Yeah, so I have a person like my birth father. He's no longer here. So like if I was to meet him in person, it would not go pretty.
Yeah.
In the beginning, I'd forgive him, but I would have to smack him around a bit.
Well, whenever somebody says birth father, I used to say my biological, right? Because I was like, he didn't raise me, okay? My stepdad raised me. That one I have affection for. This one, I got a little bit of problems with. You know what I mean? I tried later in years, and I forgave him for some stuff they did to my mom. But I was like, all right, you know, you better make peace because, you know, if you hold on to that. But back to you, Jesse. So what were you saying?
No, I just feel like I would feel bad for the couple because for one reason, what if he's sterile and can't have kids? What if she's unable to have kids?
Well, okay, let's go back to the story of the two, right? I'll bring them up on camera, okay? Because we need to kind of give an intervention. on this story, in the man's defense, right? He's 61, right? Retired, government officer. Okay. In the story, it says he spent $47,000, which is kind of normal for an education for his son's pilot training in the U.S. Okay. So he basically said, "Here, son, I want you to go ahead, put your life to something." And pilots make, on average, anywhere from like $120,000 to $180,000 per year. All right, so that's the good thing, right, Jesse? Now, in this article, he says this to reporters, and I'm telling you, it's a call for somebody to say, "Dude, you need to check up on your family." He says, "We want a grandson or a granddaughter within a year of compensation because I've spent my life's earnings on my son's education." He says the main issue is that at this age we need a grandchild, but these people, calls them people, my son and daughter-in-law, have an attitude that they don't think about us. You see, I'm telling you. He says this: "We got him married in the hope we would have the pleasure of becoming grandparents." Okay, I get that, and I see the wife going, "Man, husband, just shut up." Like, it says, "It has been 6 years since their marriage. It feels as if despite having everything, we have nothing." Oh, he needs money, Jesse. That's all that is. But $675,000, did he calculate wrong? I get him wanting his money back for the education. I get that, okay? Some people go, "Hey, dude, pay me back. You have a good job." Let's see. So the court accepted the petition, scheduled it for a hearing on Monday. In the India area. I think it's just a way for them to come back. Obviously, they're living in the U.S. You probably see some on social media going, yeah. You know what I mean? He's so jealous right now. He's like, "Pick up the phone, you dumb son." Like, I think this is a cry for help, Jesse. They just need to talk. That's what they need. That's all they need. It's simple. Easy breezy. Right? Wrong? Maybe? I don't know. What do you guys think of social media?
No, they need another kid. That's all I gotta say. They need someone new to focus on. I'll be like, "You guys need to have another kid."
All right, we gotta take a quick break. We'll be back with more right after these messages. Call your family before they sue you, man.
Does shame, guilt, and martyrdom play a part in holding ourselves back from self-love, self-confidence, self-empowerment? Ambika Waters is back. With over 3 million books sold, she offers her 28th, Releasing Shame, Guilt, and Martyrdom. Her body of work includes training programs held in Europe and North America, where she connects her participants to the realms of angels, the importance of chakras, the healing power of color and sound. Ambika Waters, the journey that she has been on, the renowned teacher, artist, and healer, has brought a lifetime of experience to her newest book, Releasing Shame, Guilt, and Martyrdom. How to reframe the past, release your future. The guide to expanding our capacity for unlimited goodness. AmbikaWaters.com. Amazon.com. Love, love, love.
AJ here from Living the Good Life Show. We're thrilled to hold our newest event May 14th through the 16th at Avondale Golf Club in Palm Desert. The inaugural Desert Classic, sponsored by Gary Williams Real Estate, is a 3-day weekend of unlimited golf, great food and entertainment, and a Monday celebrity tournament to benefit our military and their families. There's really no better way to support our troops. Sign up today. Visit ltglshow.com for details. That's ltglshow.com.
Your Pharmacy and Mobility Solutions is now Beaumont Pharmacy with a new location at the Sundance Corporate Center. That's at the corner of Highland Springs and 8th in Suite 110. Of course, they still have Pack Your Meds. No more counting out the pills, dropping them on the floor. Oh, what a mess. And they have a full selection of pharmaceutical CBD. Wheelchairs, over-the-counter meds, you name it, they've got it. So if you're looking for the best and you want the best pharmacy, you go to Beaumont Pharmacy at their new location, 835 North Highland Springs, Beaumont Avenue in Beaumont, California, Suite 110. Give them a call, 951-845-8252.
Summer's almost here, and you know what that means. Sunny days and hot temperatures that make you want to stay inside. Franklin Mechanical Systems can repair or replace your air conditioning unit to get it working before the heat hits. For cleaning, repair, or a new installation, call them for a free estimate. Franklin Mechanical Systems is the one for all your residential and commercial air conditioning needs. Call their Beaumont office at 951-845-1000. That's 951-845-1000 and get cool today.
That's right. It's the morning show here on ABC News Radio, KMET, 1490 AM. Looking at some news here, Jesse. I have not watched much. I just see the little clips like streaming on Instagram and sometimes on like YouTube very, very briefly. What's going on with Amber Heard?
Oh my God. Okay, so I refuse to watch any more of this trial.
Okay.
I don't even know what to say anymore. So, like, first off, they were both bad to each other. Okay.
Okay, I'll give you that. They both are kind of like okay. And I said this already, and I could be wrong, but they both kind of are a little like. There are some people when you meet, you're like, I don't know how to say it. Like somebody throws a bottle, the other person throws a fit, the other person throws like a tantrum, and the other person goes, let's get back together. You know, I think it's one of those relationships, Jesse. I'm not going to lie.
You know what? There was a time it was like that. You know, it was just very passionate and stuff like that. Maybe they actually did probably care for each other.
Yeah.
You know what? She's just crazy.
She's temperamental, man. She's what I would call a brat. She's a brat. Okay, there are women like this, and you women, you know who you are. But anyway, go ahead, Jesse.
No. She lost me the moment she confirmed that she pooped on his side of the bed. There is no reason to do that. She has lost everything. Boom. But oh my God. But like every video that she's recorded, she's always recording herself as like, oh yeah, I hit you and stuff like that. And like, I have yet to see anything super negative against Johnny, although I have learned a new word from that trial, the word megapint. I'm going to start using that now.
Mega pint? What do you mean? Like use it in a sentence?
So yeah, I'm gonna drink this mega pint of wine right here, because they were talking about how Johnny Depp was drinking like a pint of wine, a mega pint, but honestly, she's just become a joke right now. I really don't like. If you just look at her team in the beginning of the trial, they're all like happy. Oh, we're gonna win this. But if you look at them now, they're all like, "Oh my God, we're just no more." I'm like, "Don't talk, girl. Just don't."
They just need to settle, man. They just need to settle. Look, he lost his job with Pirates of the Caribbean, right? I get that because look, I always want to see another Pirates of the Caribbean. Okay, there were a few that I was like, whatever. But he is Captain Jack Sparrow. Period. In a story, right? So a pint, matey, right? You know, like you want to see that. That's fun, right? He lost that. Okay. Did she get Aquaman? Yeah, she did. I saw a clip. I wasn't sure what the whole like thing was on that, but he kind of alluded to something, and I was like, what are they going with? But here's what I say. At the end of the day, like if years were passed and they were like, I don't know, 8 years in the future, would they get back together? Probably not. But would they say hi? Probably not. Could they say hi? Yes, just bury the hatchet, man. I mean, all of your laundry is kind of out there. If anything, I think it's kind of like a soap opera that everybody's watching and they're going, this happens? And like where's the popcorn, right? So it's kind of like, it's sad that these are humans and that, you know, she's an actress and he's an actor. But at the end of the day, he's going to survive now. Did he do the right thing? Kind of. You know, I was against it from the start, not gonna lie. I don't think there's anything that goes good with that, but when you lose a lot of money for a film like that because of like somebody claiming this, that, and the other, and you're like, okay, I'm gonna hold you to the fire on this. Did this happen? Did that happen? Did this happen? And then you find out they're both to blame. Then you go, so somebody's stretching the truth a little, right? I'm not saying he didn't have like drug problems or alcohol problems. He's known for it, right? Anybody that knows Depp knows he's had those problems in the past, right? But when you drink together and you get married, sometimes you go, well, why did these two kind of go south? Sometimes you don't know what happened in the middle, right? And in this case, I think she went a little too off. You know, I think maybe she just got a little. Oh no, I don't want to say it because the ladies out there are gonna blame me for it. But I think she just needs a little, like, you know, Maybe they have both substance abuse problems or drug abuse problems. What do you think?
Maybe so, but has he ever hit or attacked anybody in his lifetime? My thing is with Amber Heard. Oh my God, she's just crazy. Like if we look at her past relationships, has she hit anybody? Has the cops been called on her? Apparently, yes.
Okay. Sorry, I have to go with this. Stephanie Reed just said something that I saw on social media, and I said, Deb's he's got that thing. I don't know what it is. So she says, I know I heard that Johnny Depp is dating his lawyer. I would say maybe. But here's what I would say. There was a scene that I saw people like coming to him and bringing like him water, kind of like tending to him, kind of like a mom would, if you know what I mean. And they were like very attentive to him, like, oh, I feel so bad for you. Like, I'm glad I know the truth. You are so that guy that I want to be with eventually. And then in the courtroom, there's all these women in there. And I'm like, are they like, who's going to be the next Depp? Like, you know what I mean? Like, if you see the footage, it's like, what's going on here? He's like, dude, man, I can't make this stuff up. He's Captain Jack Sparrow, Jesse.
Yeah, I've seen the courtroom crowds, and yeah, there are a lot of women there and people for Johnny. Nobody for Amber. I have yet to see one person stand up for her.
Yeah, because all the ladies know what she's dishing. They've all been there. That's why I say be careful with the ladies like next, because they're like, I see you, because women know. They're telltale signs. They've like kind of, okay, so there's been clips. Again, I have only seen clips, so I don't know the whole story. But I saw clips where she was crying, and then they're like, yeah, and now she has no tears. And women are like, yeah, I know you, lady. So I think at the end of the day, he's got options. That's number one. Number two, thank you, Steph, for bringing that up. I wouldn't put it past her. And number three, he's getting his name back and his reputation. He is Jack Sparrow. Now remember, whenever he'd be like, hey, and they like, psh, everybody would slap him. I think he's going through that right now, right? So, drop the Sparrow thing, go for error, and remember that you got kids, okay? Focus on the kids, and then the ladies, well, I think they're lining up for him, Jesse. I'm not going to lie. Because I think at the end of the day, everybody's going, man, you had a really bad situation, and we want to help you out with it. And I'm like, dude, that guy's got game. You can't hate on this game, right, Jesse?
No, everybody wants to help Johnny Depp after what happened. I think the only people that didn't drop him, like, label-wise, was that cologne, that Dior brand or whatever.
Oh, he'll get it back. He'll get it back. The fact that the ladies are tending to him, he's going to get a movie deal out of it. He's probably going to get I hope so. Probably maybe in the next 3 years, they'll probably bring back Pirates of the Caribbean. I would hope, because they have a lot of stories there that could be made.
True. But he said that he wouldn't come back no matter what Disney would offer him.
That's what Daniel Craig said. Daniel Craig said that about 007. Look what happened to him at the end. So, hey.
True. He wasn't labeled as a woman beater, so, and then Disney just instantly dropped him. So I don't know. Everyone turned their back on him once that little news article came out.
Yeah, I say, look, pick up where you left off. Just let it go. And then move on. I like what Stephanie says. She says Captain Jack Sparrow will win. So there you go. It is a thing, man. We need him back. All right, people, we've got to take a quick break. We'll be right back with more right after these messages. Stay tuned.
The Holiday Inn Express in Suites and Banning is distinctively suited for your travel time out of the car. Off the road, you'll find a courteous, welcoming staff and spacious rooms with desks, flat-screen HD TVs, and comfortable furnishings. Enjoy the complimentary breakfast buffet, high-speed internet, and fitness center and pool. The Holiday Inn Express in Suites and Banning, conveniently located off the I-10 near golf, gaming, and entertainment. For reservations and information, call 951-572-5500. That's 951-572-5500, or go online at hiebanning.com.
Mattress Brothers Overstock Mattress Sale. Just $3.99 for a foam-encased queen pillow top set. $3.99. Check out Mattress Brothers $3.99 Overstock Sale. Mattress Brothers at 120 West Redlands Boulevard in Redlands. The $3.99 Overstock Sale is on now. $3.99 for a foam-encased queen pillow top set. Mattress Brothers also has locations in Hemet, Riverside, and Palm Desert. The $3.99 queen pillow top sale on now.
Hey, Mark's here. We want people should know about the new Italian radio show on KMET. Like my Uncle Vinny used to say, Gumbas non stunad.
Yes, indeed. There is no such words in Italian.
Forget about it. Tell them about the show.
The Italian Radio Show, presented by West Coast Italian Radio.
Mondays at 4 p.m. on KMET 1490, or stream us live 24/7 from our website at WCIR.biz.
Make sure to tune in.
You don't want that we should have to tell you twice.
Your health truly is the greatest gift. At U-Theory, quality of life is at the heart of every product we make. From farm to shelf, we travel the world to source the purest, most efficacious, and clinically studied ingredients to create science-backed supplements that support beauty, emotional, digestive, and physical well-being. All U-Theory products are manufactured at our Southern California facility, ensuring the highest quality standards every step of the way. As a family-owned company, we celebrate the power of human potential with the mission to inspire wellness in all. Try U-Theory Immune Plus Daily Wellness. 100% daily values of vitamin C, D3, and zinc. Go beyond the you of today and catch the you of tomorrow. U-Theory.
That's right. It's the morning show here on ABC News Radio, KMET, 1490 AM. We got Jesse Sanchez over there. Jesse, what's going on?
Yeah, what happened over the weekend? I know
Blood
shootings
moon.
happen. What?
Blood moon.
Oh, okay. Now, if I was superstitious, that would make sense.
Or as they would call it, a lunar eclipse. Okay, let's just, because I'm not gonna lie, I had an interaction yesterday with a weird person. I called the cops on him, and they let him go, and I'm like, dude, that guy could be a murderer. Like, now I gotta watch it. So yeah, so I was like, yeah, the weirdos are out, and I just was out honestly watching the lunar eclipse with my mom, and this guy came out of nowhere asking like, hey, have you seen this woman? And it was on his phone, and I'm like, huh? And then he went across the street. He like went up to people like, have you seen, like, and then he came back. He's like, so you're changing your story? I'm like, I never said I even saw the woman. And I'm like, let's call the cops, because he's claiming, he says, well, I heard like a scream over there, so I think they have her. I think they kidnapped my. And then when the cops came, which they did, they asked him, they got my information. I said, look, man, I'm just out here watching the lunar eclipse that you can see right there called the blood moon, and with my mom. And he came up, he's kind of where he's kind of going at everybody going, have you seen this woman? And they asked him, and they said, well, I'm not going to put his business out there, but my point is this. It was weird, Jesse. And I was like, how come they didn't, put him in, maybe somewhere where he could get help, because at the end of the day, he needs help. And they just let him go. And I was like, are you kidding me? This guy's weird, and then, okay, I will say this. They asked him, well, kind of like, who is she to you? He goes, oh, well, she's my ex. It's like, stalker, right? Like, what's going on with this guy? So I don't know. Everything he said was basically a lie. So I'm like, okay, I don't know if this guy's in the area. He popped out of just the street. I was like, all right, I don't know who you are, but anyway, my point is this: watch. So go back to what you're going to say, Jesse. Go ahead.
So yeah, apparently there were two shootings. Each one on opposite ends of the coast on our beautiful country here.
Yeah.
One in Buffalo, which was that was just a horrible thing, and one that happened in a Laguna Woods church in California.
Yeah.
So the Buffalo one, that one was just gross. I actually watched the video of that one because I wanted to see, because apparently he was streaming to Twitch, and bravo for them for shutting that thing down within 2 minutes.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because this guy, so before I even realized what he was doing, who he was, whatever, I'm watching the video, and he's just putting bullets in everyone he sees except for white people.
Wow.
As he, like, you're probably like, wait, what do you mean? So as he's going through the supermarket, he sees a white guy on the floor. He pointed the gun at him. The guy was like cowering in fear. He turned the gun away and said, oh, my bad. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to do that. So he was deliberately targeting black people, people of color, and just ignoring the rest. So I'm just like, what the heck? And the fact that it took him alive, where if anybody else, a person of color, does like something wrong in a traffic accident, they'll automatically get bullets in the back.
Yeah, we keep seeing that. Yeah, I agree. I've thought about that a couple times. I'm not gonna lie, I'm not happy about it.
And I'm just like, why is it like every mass shooter that's a white guy is always taken alive, but like whenever a person of color does anything wrong, it's boom, instantly with the guns.
Yeah. Well, I have a picture on our video feed for those of you tuning in on the radio or Alexa on the app, KMET 1490 AM. What he's talking about is a situation that's going to be pretty much on the news all week long because it's an odd thing. And the fact that it happened at a market is even worse. And then the fact that it happened in New York and Buffalo, again, it's really bad. And again, this is another 18-year-old. And you called him like a white supremacist, right, Jesse? Because that's what they're calling it here. But what told you it was 100% that?
I honestly didn't know. It was just from the video, the way he was shooting people, and the fact that on his gun he had the N slur on it.
Ah, okay, got it.
That's a bit of a dick giveaway.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, it was just like even when they were down, he kept shooting them.
Yeah.
It was just a total disregard for life. I've seen a lot of videos mainly because I kind of want to know what happens and just how people react in shootings like this.
Yeah.
Honestly, when I hear a loud pop, you're going to see this fat guy run so fast, you're just going to be like, what the heck?
Yeah. Well, it says this. It says, when he came inside a few hours later, he continued to badger customers, according to Teague. Because he had been panhandling outside the store. And they said she asked him to leave, which he did without incident. She said, I asked him, can he please leave the store? You're going to have to stand outside. That's Chanel Harris Teague, who is the manager of the store, okay? She saw him again the very next day when he was wearing the same camouflage outfit, but wielding his modified automatic rifle. She says, I see him with his gear on and his gun and how it was all strapped on, and he shot a man that was already, I don't know if the man was moving. He must have shot him again. So, yeah, in this report, she's just scared. But I guess my point is, you never know when it's going to go next level, which, again, I say this, watch your six, because there are weird people out there, right? And now we're out of time. Man, I had a whole discussion on this. But I think, Jesse, at the end of the day, be careful out there. Watch your six. Call and policemen, do your job. Take these people away and get them help. This guy needed help, man. But there you go. All right, for the rest of you tuning in, I want to say thank you. Again, look, some officers are not doing the right thing. The average officer would have said, okay, we need to get you help because this guy's going from door to door to door to door. Now, I was asked, did he assault you? And I'm like, when they let him go, he came after me still, asking, like, something, and then I just like, walked away. But I was like, at the end of the day, should I have let him attack me? Would they have locked him up? What would have happened 3 days later? What happens to people that are victims of this, right? And I know, because I'm looking at a heading right here, and it says gun violence now right next to COVID-19, so it's a new heading. Evidently, there's a lot of it going on. But I say this, man, protect yourself, right? I'm not going to lie. I've thought about it a couple of times. I'm like, what do I need to protect me and or my mother, right? Or anybody that I'm with, right? So at the end of the day, you got people that are weird out there doing some weird stuff, and you kind of need to protect yourself because people are getting weirder out there. So anyway, I guess that's my story. I'm sticking to it. Be careful out there, all right? Now, having said that, a lot of you are tuning in on social media, and I want to say thank you. Thank you for the hearts. Thank you for the little stars that you guys give us. I know on YouTube it's called Superstars or something like that. So thank you for that. I will say this. In the next week, I'm going to be promoting this book quite a lot. Okay, I'm going to show it right now for those tuning in. It's called A Butterfly's Story. Okay, so that's the book. It's coming to Barnes & Noble and Amazon soon. And in this book, it's very simple. It's a fun read. I tell people, if you like Dr. Seuss, it's along the same lines, but has heart to it. Not that Dr. Seuss doesn't, but it's a book that I will say kind of like gives a couple of lessons in it, right? So I'm hoping to read this to kids, like, you know how, like, I don't know if you guys ever did this as you know, little kids growing up, but you always, like, remember author day, and they'd bring somebody over, and then they would, like, do, like, a little read, and then they'd probably bring, you know, well, I propose this. On my next book, I want, like, a few, let's put it this way. The next book is about a good man. But what is a good man eventually, right? And what about those that get hit in the head ahead of time, right? It's a little adult-ish, but it's the kind that you say, okay, I want a police officer next to me, I want a social worker next to me, and I want people to say, hey, at the end of the day, if you ever have a problem at home, you could call somebody, right? And they'll help you out, right? But I can't have this situation where people, like, you know, make a call and then the person just kind of gets, like, talked to and then they go away, and then, you know, a few days later, I mean, look at the Petito case, right? Gabby Petito. Could they have intervened? Did they have their hands tied? Should they have kind of seen the warning signs? I say yes. Others would say no. And others would say, well, what are you going to do about it, right? And I say, at the end of the day, we kind of got to bring awareness to keep each other safe, right? So when these things get reported, make a record of it, right? Make a note of it. And then at the end of the day, if something does happen, go, okay, what could you guys have done better, right? So you got to be careful out there. You know, I've already... for those that know and watch me on social media, you know, at a McDonald's, I was assaulted twice, right? And honestly, left for dead. I'm not going to lie. I blacked out. But, you know, did the guy get locked up? No. Can they get the guy? I say yes. Is the footage probably gone? Yes. And did McDonald's do the right thing, not giving me the footage right away? I would say no. But, you know, what can I do about it at the end of the day? So, and the guy has my phone still, right? I'm hoping to get a replacement soon. I haven't reported all this time because I thought hopefully they would get the guy. Now the detective called me because I went and filed a police report, right? But did anything happen? No. So I guess at the end of the day, right now we're living we're living at a time where we got to be careful. Okay, so here's what I say: be careful. Honestly, if people get upset on the road, just let them pass, okay? Don't even, like, you never know when somebody's going to have a knife, they're going to have a gun, when they're going to have something on them. You don't know, right? They may ram you with their vehicle. I've seen a couple of videos on that. Thank God we have phones that capture stuff. Thank God we have dash cams that you know, get the footage of that. I got a dash cam on my vehicle, and, you know, when I went east to Arizona, I was going to go to Texas and then Georgia and then Florida next. But I think I'm going to say that probably in the next few weeks. And I'm always like, okay, keep the camera rolling, right? Because you never know what you're going to see ahead. I got to put the one behind me as well because you never know what's going to happen behind you. But I will say this, you got to be careful out there. And if you have the ability to at least get your... I even like those cameras that are on you, right? Like get it on a recording, because that's what protects you at the end of the day, right? It's weird. I know if you guys live in, like, areas like maybe Ohio, Stephanie, you're probably fine there. But here in LA, it's getting weird, man. In Phoenix, I know it's getting weird. In Arizona, in parts of Dallas, it's getting weird, right? Houston's all right for now. Florida, there's a lot of things happening in Miami right now. So in the big areas, people are kind of losing it, you know, and I go, what's happening there? What's going on? So you gotta be careful, right? My mom, she has a spray with mace on it. I was gonna order her one, which actually notifies the police right away the moment it's released, and I almost feel like doing it because it's kind of getting to that, you know, weirdness, you know. It's weird when they kind of come out of your, like, area, like around where you live, and they're just like walking the streets and they, you know, get let go for honestly being, well, I'm gonna say it, off, all right, or odd, right? The guy needs help, period, in the story. So now I gotta tell my mom, be careful when you go walking, watch out for this guy, blah, 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 right? So I guess my point is, be careful out there, all right? Now, having said that, everyone be careful of coronavirus. Okay, we didn't really cover it. I didn't really want to make it a downer. I know when I talk about coronavirus, sometimes it gets a little, like, we get it. But the numbers are adding up. Now, I had a discussion on this recently, and I said, a lot of these aren't getting accounted for. Now, those home tests that everybody's getting? What happens when they're positive, right? Okay, so think that. Now think how many are getting not reported, okay? If you have a COVID test and you get tested and you are positive, do you report eventually? The answer is, well, that depends. If you go to the hospital or if you go get medical attention, then it's reported on and they test you again. But if you get positive and then you stay home, those are not the ones going to be accounted for eventually. So are more people getting sick with coronavirus? I would say yes. The numbers are up right now, but those are ones that are reported in the hospitals or in testing sites, right? Those are the ones where they go, okay, we want to figure that out. So you got to account for a good percentage getting it, not saying anything. Maybe they post to social media like, pray for me. But I would say at least get people aware of it. That way they know, A, if they became in contact with you, maybe they need to get tested. Or B, at least they could check up on you, because coronavirus has had a couple, I've already buried a few people like this, where honestly had no oxygen in their head, had breathing problems, and then weren't able kind of to make sense of what was happening around them. It happened with one family member who actually lived with other people, and so they were like, yeah, she wasn't making sense. And so they called the ambulance, but like 3 to 4 weeks later, she was dead. Okay, and she was intubated. Okay, but my point is this: you gotta be careful. Okay, is here, and now we're having, I believe, 6 variants of Okay, will you call it coronavirus 6? Yes. Is it worse than the alpha, the beta, the delta? Yes. This is why even North Korea is having a problem. A lot of you are seeing it like be a thing in North Korea, but they're not really reporting it properly. What they're reporting is North Korea's like they had 6 deaths, right? But what people are wondering, well, we've had more deaths than that here. Why is it a thing there? Or are they just kind of like, oh, we just got coronavirus? They have the latest strain. So the problem with that is when you have the latest strain of coronavirus, like China, Shanghai, Beijing, and other areas in the area are locking down because it's worse. Okay, it's not the alpha, it's not the beta, it's not even the delta or the delta plus, it's not even lambda. It's 3, 4, 5, and 6. Okay, now having said that, in the next few months, we're going to see a new vaccine come out. Okay, the latest vaccine covers 1. Okay, and the other variants obviously, but it doesn't cover 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6, okay? With the research that they're doing right now, based on what now they're seeing, they're going to come out with another vaccine probably by November, okay? It'll be called the fall edition of 2022. I would say be ahead of it, steer clear of people that have it, and then just, I have to say this. I put it on my phone. It was a really good one. I probably can't bring it up right away, but I was at Barnes & Noble, and the Barnes & Noble had a really good sign, and it was very easy, and it didn't say mandated. I actually liked it. I was like, I like the way they say that. It was very simple. Let me see if I can bring it up here. And I thought, okay, why can't, here it is. Let's see if you can see it there. Let's see. It says, masks are, and this is in the front, encouraged. That's it, right? That's it. That's all it said. Masks are encouraged. I like that. That's at Barnes & Noble in Phoenix, I believe. And I was like, you know what? So I took a picture of it. I'm like, I like that. I like the words. Protect yourself at the community, masks available at customer service. Thank you, right? I like that. It doesn't say the word mandate. It doesn't say, required. It says masks are encouraged, I like that. I like that. At one of the other Barnes & Noble, they weren't wearing any masks, but, they're all separate from each other, right? They all do it differently. But I guess my point is this. There's a way to do it and be ahead of it. It's called be safe ahead of time, okay? Now, are we back to the way it was in 2020? No. People are acting like it doesn't exist. But are the numbers adding up? No, okay? They're now reporting, which we reported about 3, 4, 5 weeks ago, because I already did the math, that now we've crossed the threshold of 1 million deaths. It's actually happened over 5 weeks ago. I don't know why, but everybody's reporting late. Now, I get it because of Ukraine and Russia and all that. People are paying more attention to that and some of the news about COVID, but not a lot. So I will say this. We're already past the million mark. Now, did it slow down a little. I say yes, but again, the reporting's been off. Some are not giving the math on that because they're like, okay, well, we don't know what to do. We're already past 1 million deaths. I want you guys to think about that. Now, even if it's kind of inflated numbers, you account for anywhere from 3 to 4%. There you go. All right. But at the end of the day, that's just here in the U.S. I'm not accounting for around the world. Okay. Around the world, the deaths are much larger than that. Now, is the U.S. among the top? Yes. And I know some people go, well, per capita, we have more people here. But India has more people. They have 1 billion. China has more people. They have 1 billion. We have 400 million, I believe, was the last number. Maybe 360 million now. I don't really know. It fluctuates. I think it used to be 480 million. I don't know, 402 million, 406 million. I don't remember. But I guess my point is, let me go to the world coronavirus, because I always say, think about the world, okay? We talk about that here, but, what's the situation around the world? Yep, there it is. Total deaths, again, these are total reported cases, 521 million reported cases, okay? And the new cases are picking up. This is around the world, okay? So they have, and this is always a positive. I did this in 2020. I said, look, we'll get ahead of it. We got to stay alive for each other, okay? Take it seriously. Don't think it's not real, like they keep saying. Recovered are 491 million. Okay, so that's a positive. Okay, now I will say this. Doesn't mean you should get it. I have a couple friends that had it back in January and or February, and they have what's they're now deeming is long haul COVID, meaning the after effects are really bad. Okay, so it's not good. And then if you get it again, it's almost like worse than cancer. Okay, so be aware of that. But total deaths around the world is 6.2 million. Okay, that's around the world. Now, we make up 1/6 of that percentage. So if you do the math, we're really not doing the world any good. Okay, we should technically be 1/8 of it, but we're at 1/6. Do you get it? That's why we're really not doing good here. And they're just like, no, we're awesome. We're not awesome. We should be lower than that. But that's the situation. Okay, so we got to be careful of that. Then you got to deal with all the other stuff. Because as I say, the reason you got to put a lockdown on an area, and I say area, not necessarily the whole country, is because certain hospitals are inundated. When hospitals are inundated and you have a broken, you get in a bad car accident, right? Are you going to have a hospital bed, right? Are you going to be able to go to the ER? Are you going to be able to be admitted? Are you going to be able to stay there? Or are all the hospital beds going to be taken? Are we ahead of it? I say no, especially with 3, 4, 5, and 6 eventually, right? So what they're deeming now, which we've been saying for quite some time here on the show, is in the next 3 to 4 months, you really need to be very careful. Now, everybody's in spring mode, but they're going to be pretty soon in summer mode. And summer mode is very like, okay, give you an example. Last year in summer mode, everybody was starting to take off their masks, right? And people were kind of relaxing a bit, right? Then it picked up again, I think in October, right? Then November, then December, and then January, all right? I had to bury a few people during that time, okay? Now, having said that, we got to be careful going forward, because if we're not, we're going to be in a worse position than we were before. Or I say a bad position than we were before, okay? I don't like to alarm anyone. But what I say is this. We don't have the vaccine yet for 3, 4, 5, and 6. Okay, we just don't. Okay, some would theorize that 1 and 2, the latest vaccine that are available for those 50 and above. By the way, is anybody else getting that one? Did they? I might miss it again. I've been traveling this week, for the book. But can people get it? I have a question on that, right? Well, why is it only 50 and above? I think the 50 and above kind of got that, right? I know my mom got it. I made sure she got it. I want to make sure she's safe with that. That's the Pfizer and Moderna one, right? So here's what I will say. Going forward, by fall, we will definitely have another one. And I say definitely get that one, okay? Be prepared for that one, okay? Because that one will at least probably cover 1, 2, hopefully 3. I can't guarantee it. Maybe or maybe not. 4, 5, no way, Jose. It's just too soon. And 6, no. Okay, that's where North Korea is kind of going, oh shoot, what do we do? Okay, that's where China is saying, oh shoot, what do we do? And they're kind of reporting it, but they're kind of not reporting. You know how they're kind of slow with that, yeah. So my point is this: be mindful. Doesn't mean you have to be like, right? It doesn't mean you don't want to be safe. It means you got to be safe, and you got to get through the next year. If we can get through the next year together, then probably in 2023, probably by August, all right, just plan for the worst, seriously, we'll be still wearing masks, but we'll be alive. We got to deal with the financials, and we got to deal with things we can do at home. Okay, so start thinking like that, because I can almost guarantee you, right now, everybody's like out and about, right? But by November and December and January of this year, even in the U.S., I know in China, they're like, oh, what are we doing here, right? And India, they're going almost that way pretty soon. But those are areas that kind of do the math, and they go, what do we do next? Because the numbers are really starting to add up, okay? Perfect example. This is one that was just posted several days ago. Surge in virus cases puts most of New York State on high alert. Okay, New York is in high alert mode, okay? We have not been in high alert mode since, honestly, 2020 and part of 2021, right? A lot of people thought, they're like, yeah, it's fake. It's blah, blah, blah. I have good friends that I've, kind of been around. I'm like, and they're like, why are you wearing a mask? I'm like, I'm not dumb. Like, you wear your mask. Never. I wear my mask. You're not going to do peer pressure on me. But that's where you kind of have to be. You kind of have to be like, okay, I'm going to keep my family safe. I'm going to do the right thing. Even if you don't, we could be friends, but, they'll come in and work with me, right? So, but yeah, that's kind of the situation. Yeah, look at some of these headlines. I guess my point is this. Watch the news and then understand what's happening, okay? The CDC, they're back and forward. They don't even understand what's going on. The world is more ahead if you look at world news, okay? Don't look at local news. Local news is underreporting. And then all of a sudden it's going to be a huge number, and you're going to be like, where did that come from? And I think that's what's going to happen in November, December, okay? So be aware of it and get everything you need to do ahead of time. Shoot, invest in a Oculus or a what do they call it? Vive Port or Vive. I have one. Do virtual reality. Do it with your family, right? I know we recommend. A couple of you have actually bought a few. Start writing. Do those virtual stuff. I know a lot of people that kind of like are learning, online, but be ahead of it. That way you don't go in the way of like, I get to go nowhere, because at the end of the day, I say, hey, you're alive. I know I had a family member kind of claim that. I said, but you're alive. We kept you alive. There's a lot of people dying. Don't be dead. So get ahead of it. Do the right thing. And then, don't pay attention to the administration. The administration's doing a lot of weird stuff. But be aware that it's still here. It's still a situation. People can die from it. If you get a big hospital bill, trust me, you're not going to want one. And if you do get it and you get well, you're not going to want to deal with the repercussions of 3, 4, 5, and 6. Okay, it's just not. It's just good. Just not even somewhat get it. Okay, don't get it. Remember in 2020 where they were like, and there were some news outlets that were reporting, so I was like, man, are they dumb? And they said basically kids are unable to get COVID, is basically the way they put it. And I had a person that we used to do business with, and he said, the kids can't get it. I go, like, just think about that. I had that moment of like, what news outlet are you talking to? Kids are biologically the same as us. Were you not a kid once? All right, so be careful of the science out there by media people, because at the end of the day, and I've been saying this ever since 2020, I stand by it. I've said be ahead of it, be careful, be safe than sorry, stay blessed and stay aware that things can happen all of a sudden, okay? I've said this. Each time I've said this, people have called me to the carpet. I lost a job out of it, right? Because I said too much about COVID. I got called once and saying, well, you're fear-mongering. I go, no, I'm trying to cause awareness that it's there. Now, several years, what was it, 2 years from 2020, we're still dealing with it. So I go back to those, and if I would have I did lose a job out of it, but if I lost this job out of it, I'd say, you see, what are you guys preaching or teaching? That it doesn't exist? Did you not bury or know somebody that died of COVID? So don't let anybody strong arm you, okay? I've stood by it, even with people that said, it's not a thing, don't worry about it. I'm like, I'm not killing my mom over your dumbness or stupidity that it's non-existent. It's look, I've had to bury friends with this, okay? My sister got it in early 2020. Now, okay, I'll go with this. Maybe if I watch certain media outlets, you know who you are. And certain ones were like, okay, and I did experience it with my sister, right? And I didn't experience it with others. Maybe I go down that route of conspiracy theory, right? Nah, it's not a conspiracy theory. It's a real thing, okay? You get it. You end up in the hospital. You're going to be intubated, okay? Just remember that, okay? So put into, I guess, your I don't know, awareness, right, that it's still here. It's not fun. It's something China's had to deal with, honestly, since 2008. If you look at SARS and you look at swine flu and you look at avian flu and you look at all those things. Oh, yeah, that's right. I got avian flu here. Not to mention the flu that's coming up soon, right? For the end of the year. I know, we're in beautiful May. So it's like, yay, flowers, hooray, hurrah, right? And then June will be awesome, right? Yay, weather's nice, yay. July will be here, yay, awesome, yay. August, yay, super awesome, right? People will be traveling, doing things that they do. Stay safe while you do it. September, yay. October, right? Because it starts getting a little colder. Then November, and then December, and then January, oh no. And then February, oh god. And then March, oh god. And then April. Are we here still, right? And then May by next year. God, that was all a blur, right? Because there's people losing their mind, all right? And then by June, people will be back to the way it was. No, I'm telling you, man, we're not ahead of it. If we were ahead of it, I would say this: Pfizer, Moderna, Johnson & Johnson, get ahead of it. Get 3, 4, 5, and 6 ready to go. Now, do they have the ability to do so? I don't know. Let's put it this way. If they did, we'd be ahead of it. But most likely the number of the time that they did, the amount of time for the first one, they could do it, but they're not ahead of it because it's still too new. So that's where people go, no, I have it for OM. I'm like, there's several variants. That's why you have to know the variant number. So when you get tested at a hospital. That way you can say, hey, what is the OM that I have? They're all different. Okay, there is no two the same. When you get a cold, you have the same symptoms. When you get a flu, you have sometimes different symptoms. Sometimes you get stomach flu. Sometimes you get fever. Sometimes you get a host of other things, right? Everything is different. So this one is different. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6 are different with different type of symptoms. They're not all the same. Some mask as a cold and they end up worse, like 3 to 4 days later. And then others are worse right like at the beginning and they get only worse. That's on 3 and 4. Okay, they're a slow roll though. Where people were like with alpha and beta, they had, remember the 14-day quarantine? They should do on 3, 4, 5, and 6, probably 21 day. That's the amount of time it takes from it to go from oh no, right? It's a long one. So the reporting will be a little off, but I guess the best way to say it is just understand the numbers will be off because it takes longer to, and that's the problem. If you go everywhere with having 3, 4, 5, and 6, and you're one of the few that will be okay, you may be spreading it to others, and that's where it's going to get out of hand. Okay, 1 and 2 are much like a cold-ish, and then about 8 days later, you're like, but how many people did you come across that you got infected? That's why it spread so fast, right? And the math is off, honestly. The numbers are under-reporting, not reporting right now. So we may, in a year's time, hit here on the home front maybe 1.8 million dead. Okay? That's a bad number to have. And I hope it's less. But if anybody underreported, it was Trump, okay? And I know he's running again. I don't know why. Seriously, that guy is like featured in every single news headline. Like, I'm like, dude, we get it. You know, Capitol, we got it. You know, Riot, that's the guy that, you know, wanted it. I get it. Look, anybody that puts people in harm's way, no. Now, do I prefer Biden right now? No, I don't. You know why? He's just focusing on little things. He's not focusing on the financials of what we need for the world, right? We look, we do business with other countries. There's a reason for that. We do business with China. We do business with Japan. We used to do business with Russia. Here, I'm going to pull this up, actually. This is a situation with Russia, right? And I said this is going to happen, and it's happening, right? McDonald's is pulling out of Russia, and it's been there 30 years. 30 years, right? And they're pulling out. Why? Ukraine, yeah, war. Makes you look dumb, right? So Russia, get ahead of it, man. Starbucks is probably next, okay? But, you know, if you think like this, you think, okay, we're a world economy, right? This is a picture of Russia, right? With McDonald's in Russian, right? That's Russian for those of you that can see it. That's the world economy. When the world suffers, everyone suffers. So you got to think world when you think economy, okay? Now, having said that, I got to meet with Jesse Torres, who is awesome with the stuff that he knows. And we'll probably be putting a book together about business and financials and money and math and how it's all adding up, because there are certain people in the world that tell you what's going to happen ahead of time. And I'm not going to lie, he's told me 3 things that have all happened that I'm like, yep, you're all right on that. So we did a little tour to Florida once, and we got a speaking engagement to a group of, honestly, entrepreneurs. And that was a company called Any Lab Test Now. And these are all people that opened their business to do testing, okay? And this is just regular tests, way before COVID. This is like blood testing, DNA testing, paternity tests, alcohol and drug tests, but also like fingernail testing in case you were raped, like, and you were like given, you know, something in your drink. They're a great company. I should call them up and see what they're doing. But my point is this. You gotta be careful going forward, because there's a lot of things happening in the world, and you gotta be ahead of it. So I hope we get to, you know, tour again. I have a couple of things that I'll be touring with this. Again, shameless plug again. A Butterfly Story. I'll give you the link so you can get where to buy it. I've already had a couple people say, where can I get this? So if you comment below on the comments, I'll go ahead and get you hooked up with that. All right, and maybe even sign a copy for you. But my point is this. If you're aware of what's going to happen next, then you're aware how to prepare for what's happening next, okay? If you're ahead of that, then you'll be ahead of life in the next 3 to 4 years. And here's what I always put with the part, okay? If you get ahead for the next 3 to 4 years, and you think 4 years in the future, you can get a business, you can get a book, you can get something done, and you could sell it while home, right? A lot of people are looking more for, like, how do I work at home? And will I be responsible when I work from home? Then there's education. Education is honestly needing to go next level because, well, not everybody has, Zoom, right? And they teleconference or meet online. I've had my mom meet with a doctor on, I think, Zoom or FaceTime, one of those. And I'm like, interesting, right? No need to drive there. Easy breezy. Boom, get your medication and your visit and all that, right? They just ask you a few simple questions. I'm like, where's the testing happening, right? And I know we used to meet with companies like at CES, which actually had testing sites, and you go in, you don't meet with anybody, and it's a telehealth situation, right? And they were ahead of it, again, before coronavirus. So there's a lot of things that have the ability to keep us safe going forward without isolating ourselves away from others, okay? That's the important thing. Don't isolate from each other. And I will say this, if you're with a situation where you can't financially support yourself, then get with somebody who can, okay? And team up, right? But be safe together. Don't get the whole family sick if you move in, right? And there's some people that do that. I've honestly had to, kind of talk to a couple people about, be safe with it. Don't get the whole family sick. You never know about grandma or the little one. So be ahead of that. All right, let's see. Let's go to comments there. Stephanie says, I know when I go to Florida and see my new nephew and nephews, I will have my mask on to be safe and careful. Yeah, good idea, especially when traveling. Says you should check out this popcorn that is sold at Walmart of Rob's Popcorn. Really good popcorn. Oh, man, I'm not going to lie. I love popcorn. All right, so look, at the end of the day, get ahead of it. And then when you think 3 or 4 years, you'll be alive, but you'll remember what happened all throughout. People lost their minds, okay? These shootings are going to pick up in the next 3 weeks. People are going from violent to worse. They're rioting probably the next few weeks because I don't want to be irresponsible with my face mask. Again, everything that happened in 2020 basically happened again. Makes no sense. And then, of course, what kind of idea do you have in your head to be able to go, you know what? I want to maybe write. Yeah. Why not? Have your own book. In the next few days, I'll tell you how easy it is and how you can get your book up and ready. I'm not going to lie. I have never been a writer, okay? I can talk and talk and talk and talk and talk and talk and talk, but I cannot get in front of I'll give you an example. I went to where was it? It was, what's that place called? I can never remember it. It's in, Sherman Oaks area. Aroma Cafe. And Aroma Cafe, I took out I have this like white little, like, you could draw on it or whatever. So I wrote this like story that was coming to my head, and I kind of got switched out a couple times on what I was thinking. I was like, I don't know. And then I kind of spoke it out. I recorded it, put it up to YouTube, downloaded the transcript, or some would say the manuscript, and then put it into Word, edited along the way. Boom. Finished book. Done. Proof is in the pudding. And it's a good story, really. I stand by it. Got my name on it. But my point is this. Get to something that you always wanted to do, right? Now, did I want to do this? No, I'm not going to lie. But did it come to me? Yeah. And so I say, when certain things just pop into your head, act on it. And then just do it. And then, you never know what's going to happen next, right? So there you go. All right. That's my story. I'm sticking to it. Be safe out there. Stay alive. That way in the next 3 to 4 years, we go, okay, God, that was horrible. But we say, at least the people around us are alive. And those that we had to bury, at least we're going to keep them in our thoughts. And we're going to keep them in our hearts. And we're going to keep them alive as long as possible. Okay. Some people are very, very, very determined just to, like I say, want to end their life. And don't allow that to happen. Okay. Be aware of it. Be ahead of it. And then cause them to think with their mind and say, hey, by the way, don't do the wrong thing, do the right thing, and stay ahead of it. Okay, people. Make it a great day, whatever you do. Remember, life is worth living. Live it well. Bye-bye, everyone.